Voices.
Save our NHS! No cuts! No privatisation!
Actually, Olivia just the person who brought
Hello! Hello! Louise! I've got me in the pictures!
Yes, take everyone. The other side. Louise, if you turn the box round, there we go.
There's not anything in it. Thank you.
Save our NHS!
Hello.
No NHS cuts! No ifs! No buts! 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 No NHS cuts!
I thought I'd get one of you.
The Trust Special Administrator who tried to close Lewisham was stopped by the law because it was illegal, unlawful. It's about giving him those rights, giving Special Administrator rights to close any hospital they want in the country on very sweeping powers. I mean, they don't have to consult with local people, they don't have to pay attention to what local GPs think, or to what the local council thinks. So it's the beginning of a whole attack on our NHS hospitals. A third of NHS hospital trusts are in financial deficit, a quarter of foundation trusts are in financial deficit. Not because there's anything wrong with those hospitals, but because of the way that the government is funding those hospitals. But they're going to use those deficits as an excuse to close other hospitals in the vicinity. And we could see up to a third of hospitals being closed. We must fight that. Clause 118 is something I think we can defeat. So we can defeat it because we can put huge pressure on those MPs who are in constituencies where their local hospital may be closed. And that means that we can put pressure on their Dems and even some Tories to vote against this. We've already got 144 signatures. We're going to hand this in.
144,000.
144,000 signatures. I was thinking tens of thousands now, you see. That's the problem. And but we're going to keep on collecting these signatures. We're hoping to get 200,000 because this bill, although there's going to be a debate in Parliament today and a vote, it's not the end of the road. This clause 118 will come back, and there will be a crucial crunch vote in Parliament, maybe in February. And we are going to keep on mobilising. And on that day, we're going to have an even bigger turnout than we have today. We're probably going to go down there and we'll be lobbying down there. So we'll have 200,000 signatures at least. But this is our beginning of our campaign against clause 118, not the end of the campaign. So it's fantastic to see so many people here. I think we should have some chanting about clause 118, and then in a minute or two I'll go and hand it in.
We must lobby our MPs.
Lobby all your MPs from around the country.
All of us need to lobby our MPs.
Would anybody else like to say a few words?
Well, just to say, it's also an affront to the fundamentals of our democracy. This is just the thin edge. And I think that's why we have to fight this one, not just for hospitals and not just for the NHS, but for the fundamentals of our democracy and our society. Yeah. It's that serious.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely right.
So much for no top down.
In Lewisham in June we had our own commission because we didn't know we were going to win the judicial review. And that's a brilliant exposition of exactly that point. So what an undemocratic process the TSA is, where it abandons consultation and it abandons any consideration of local clinical or public opinion. So if you're interested in this, it's an incredible array of public contributions, patients' contributions, clinicians, and indeed Malcolm from the London Ambulance Service User Group, people like that, the church, and they all showed what a hospital means to a community, what an A&E means to a community, what the fear they have if their hospital is going to be taken away. So it's fantastic that Ealing and the GMB and Lewisham and all the other campaigns around the country are coming together about this clause. It's really, really serious, and I completely agree. It's one of the most democratic issues of the moment, to preserve our rights to healthcare for those that have nothing, and to do that now is a fantastic achievement. And thank you to 38 Degrees and everybody.
The box set.
There's also the song from the NHS choir if you're interested, but don't forget to download it.
I have one of these.
Why not you take it? Would anybody else like to say a few words, like from Ealing? Would you like to?
And I'm sure Anne will want to say something from Hammersmith and Charing Cross.
Steve Turner from the Ealing campaign.
I am from the Ealing campaign. Anne Drinkle's here from Hammersmith. We've been campaigning around 4 hospitals, Ealing, Charing Cross, Hammersmith and Central Middlesex. The hospital in our borough is Ealing. We've been fighting what feels like forever. There's Eric, Pam and other people here from our campaign. We've kept going, it's been difficult. We've gone through a so-called consultation process, which was a complete and utter waste of time. The people of Ealing said, leave our hospital alone, and of course the decision that was made by NHS North West London was, I think we'll just ignore all that and go ahead and shut the A&E, the maternity and the children's services. We've been out on the streets, we've been demonstrating, we've had 2 demos, we're still going. It gives us great heart that there are others campaigning as well. It's important for us today to come here, to all be together. We need to do more things across London, because as everybody knows, it's not just an attack on Ealing or Charing Cross or Hammersmith or Lewisham. It's a fundamental attack on our health service. They want to privatise it, hand it over to all their mates. Our government wants to hand it over to all their private sector mates to make huge loads of profits. We've got people being sacked for standing up, for speaking out and for daring to say, hey, there's cuts going on in my hospital. We all need to stand together, campaigners, GPs, consultants, people in the community, who have worked in the hospital, and we really do need to do more things across London. We've done some things. There's going to be a motion going to have a demonstration later in the summer. Obviously, in the meantime, we need to keep on. And Louise and other people in Lewisham, you're an inspiration to us all.
Can I just add about Ealing and the hospitals in North West London? I worked as a consultant in public health in North West London for many years. There is no justification for the sorts of closures that are being envisaged, are being carried out in North West London, not on professional, technical NHS grounds. There's no justification, no evidence of to what needs to be done.
Thank you.
Good.
Very important to know that.
Who's coming?
Something about the PMI. Please say something about the PMI.
So Anne is coming.
How much it's taking.
You come and say something.
She's coming.
Who's saying that?
Please say
There, over there.
I'm obviously from the Save Charing Cross and Hammersmith Hospital campaign, but I just wanted to say that what's happened in North West London is now being rolled out across London and across the country. Basically, we're part of a great big experiment, and whatever the hype, it's not an experiment about how great we can make community care. It's not based on that kind of clinical evidence. And the person from public health, who I absolutely want to talk to afterwards, knows that. The issue would be, none of us are against closing acute services and moving stuff into the community if it's appropriate. But it has to be well funded, well resourced, properly planned, properly pilot tested, and it has to win support from the local community. Actually, across London, we face a public health crisis. We face rising TB, rising levels of multi-drug resistance. We have lower levels of GP and primary care satisfaction in the rest of the country. We have lower rates of primary care cancer diagnosis. We have lower rates of dementia diagnosis. In other words, we are not fit for purpose at the moment, and that's largely because of resources and the overwhelming pressures on staff. So please, don't take this experiment where you then close down half of the acute infrastructure and expect to an already overburdened service to cope, because that is the true clinical picture. I just want to say very finally that it's fantastic when clinicians can stand up against this, but I want to make everybody aware of a clinician who was also a union member, Charlotte Munro in Whipps Cross, who has paid a massively high price for speaking out. She spoke out at her local scrutiny committee. If you don't think that's democratic, that a voted representative can speak out at a council that is also supposed to be democratic, and she gets sacked for that, what they are trying to do is make a very clear warning and use Charlotte as an example. And I think it's incredibly important that we all support that Whip's Cross case, because that's critical for the future of the NHS. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anne.
Charlotte to speak.
Charlotte, would you like to say a few words?
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Charlotte,
What you just said.
From Whip's Cross.
Thank you very, very much for what our colleagues have said, and that is really heartening. I agree this is an issue that is absolutely critical to our right as health workers and the community to have an impact on and a say on and an independent voice on the future of our health services and our NHS. And I do think that the move against me was very much motivated, but to quite an extent, by trying to put a marker down to stop NHS staff in my trust that I work in from speaking to the community. And it also reflected an arrogance, I believe, within those who are currently responsible for leading the provision of a major health service provider across East London towards the community and towards the stakeholders, including the council, in terms of any genuine engagement and involvement and sense that they have they are accountable to the people who use the service. So hard as it is for me as an individual to go through what I'm going through, I think the important issues are the principles at stake. The principles that staff and unions have a right to an independent voice. Unions have a right to organise their members and their staff in order to take a stand for and actually impact on their pay, conditions, rights and jobs. And also that there has to be a culture within the NHS, which is a caring service, a culture in which people are confident to speak out, whether it be within a small meeting within their team, whether it be within a meeting within their directorate, whether it be in a public debate. We have to be able to have a discussion that's grounded on the reality that the staff experience day to day, the patients experience day to day, and without fear.
Thank you. Yeah, well done.
Thank you, Charlotte. Would anybody else like to say a few words?
Is there anyone here from 38 Degrees?
38 Degrees?
Everybody's from 38.
Would you like
I'd like to hear their take on it.
And we've got 38 Degrees, and then we've also got Andy Slaughter MP, who's also been doing a lot of work in the North West London campaign. So,
Yeah, well, I did. Yeah, it's really great to see so many people here. It's really heartening that everyone still cares about the NHS, and even though the government keeps trying to do stuff like Clause 118, that we're ready to fight them, and it's just really brilliant. So keep reading your emails. We'll keep going with this, and it'll be really great. The more of us that can help fight this, the more chance we have of winning. So thank you all for coming. It's been really great. The Department of Health have not sent someone down. It doesn't look like they're going to, which, you know, you can read into that what you will. I'm not going to comment. But,
thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks. 38 Degrees have been fantastic. I must say, a wonderful ally in this fight. Andy Slaughter MP, would you like to say?
Well, yeah. You didn't expect 47 speeches, did you? Right. Just to say, you've heard from Anne, who is our expert and drinker in North West London. And just to say, we've been really inspired by everything that Lewisham have done. But first of all, the really crude and disgusting way in which Hunter's behaved here, which is the way he announced the closure, the way he spent all that money fighting through the courts, and now because he's lost and lost again, he's now going to change the law to get his own way. Nothing exemplifies the Tories' attitude to the NHS better than what he's done to Lewisham Hospital. But you really have been the example to all the rest of us around London who are fighting hard. As you know, we've got 2 major hospitals effectively closing and 4 A&E departments in North West London. It's the largest closure programme ever in the history of the NHS. It's not quite the same issue because they went through a phony consultation process, so we didn't get it chucked out in court. What we're going to do is we're going to win the local elections in May to make sure they can't demolish those hospitals and they can't close them down. So we keep Charing Cross and we keep Ealing Hospital open until we have a government that will stand up and protect the NHS. But I have to say, without what's gone on in Lewisham, without the fantastic fight, and I know it's going to continue, and I know you're going to save your hospital, we wouldn't all have the confidence to do what you've done. Thank you very much again.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Are there any other people who would like to say anything?
Actually, I just wanted to say thank you too. I'm Kate, I'm also a Labour, I'm the candidate in Stafford, and we're next. We're getting our TSA report on Wednesday, and we know that the services that they're going to take out of Stafford are designed to make sure that the hospital is not financially sustainable. And it's been really hard for us to fight back, but without Lewisham's example and actually a lot of help from people in Lewisham, we wouldn't have known what to do. And I think we are making a good job of fighting back, and we will continue to fight back, and hopefully we'll follow your example.
Question. How can they put the TSA process forward in Stafford if it's illegal, it's an unlawful process? Because it's the same thing, they're trying to make decisions outside the trust to which they were appointed.
They are, that's why we've had a delay, I think, and they delayed till Christmas, so no one will notice.
Oh,
we're hoping it will be varied. Yeah. We have pointed out, and actually there's a lot more in Stafford in different ways. One of the things that they've done is only recommended on 60% of the cuts that they're going to make, the rest they're hoping to put through without consultation. So there have been other not even illegalities, but we're investigating what's happened and how it could have happened.
Right.
Unfortunately, we don't have the hope of the local county council.
How are you?
Happy.
Hello.
Lovely. Thank you.
I have, yeah.
Somebody to receive a gift.
Yes, come in with me. I will ask them to receive it. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Let's see if they'll receive the gift. It's Christmas time. We've got to give the Department of Health a present.
Well, I'm not here to receive it.
Would somebody come down to receive it?
Yeah, there's somebody. Thank you. If you'd like to go through the hall.
We'll follow you through, Louise. Off we go. I think they're going to get somebody down.
Somebody will come down and get it, are they? Oh, good.
I think that's what he said.